We need to be on time tonight because the president is going to be making a statement. I think everybody's going to want to be present for that. So just waiting for our live stream screen to go live here. How's everybody doing? We need to be on time tonight because. So hi everyone, welcome to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host Louisa. Today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2020, and this is GoldFish Report number 455. This is our midweek POTUS report for week 164. It's from March 7th to the 11th, and we're going to try to do this quick because the POTUS president, Trump, is making a, hey Anthony, how are you? He's addressing the nation tonight at 9 p.m. regarding coronavirus, so we're going to go through this really quick. I wanted to say that we did an earlier live stream regarding more information, more evidence that we're using critical thinking for. Yeah, Gen X, how are you? We're using critical thinking regarding our Q baby who has gone public, and that's really great. Hi, Jay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to try to do this quick because, as I mentioned, the president is going to be addressing the nation tonight at 9 p.m. regarding coronavirus. So I want to try to get this done because I don't want to try to compete with the president. You know that. So let's get this started. Let's get this started here. Hold on a second. Let's get this right. Let's get it right. So last week, you know that I did do a here's a blog. I did a post, a video called Archived 8chan Post Sheds Light on Austin Steinbart. And I did screen share some evidence that I also re-screen shared again today because I thought it was important to do this. You know, anybody that comes on the scene, you know, you want to be obviously use discernment, but you also want to look at the facts and the evidence, which I think that I provided. Of course, Austin provides his own. So, but I was able to validate this before anybody came out and said anything about it. So because I did know about Austin for a long time. So let's move along. You can take a look at that video. So here we're going to be talking about this was after this was last week, obviously. So this was when the president had remarks after the tour of the CDC. Okay, and you can, it's a long transcript, folks. I'm not going to get into the transcripts. You're going to have to go to the blog, the goldfishreport.blogspot.com, and check it out. Okay, because it's too much information. The CDC, the Dr. Monroe was talking about what they do and how they handle the situation with, infectious disease threats and things like that. As soon as the Chinese announced that it was novel coronavirus, the Chinese, to their credit, made that sequence information available right away. So they were able to the president acted very quickly, and he closed off, shut down flights, and he brought United States citizens in from other countries so that they could receive treatment in the United States. So he did think very quickly. The president's also banned people who are in areas that are travel forewarning, which is a do not travel area. So that's also good to know, I think. So Iran is one of them, and Italy is another one. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff, big stuff. It's all closed down over there. So please go here and take a look at this transcript. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's way too long. I'm sorry that I'm scrolling, but you know how it is on a blog. So look how long this is. I mean, I couldn't possibly report all of this. You guys have to come and read it. Okay, so that's the end of that day. Let me just check in with our viewers. Hi, Sherry. Hi, everybody. Hi, Carl. Hi, Crystal. Jay. Oh, my God. Okay, no F words in our chat, though, folks, because, hi, Sherry. Hi, King. Hacienda. Carl, nice to see you. Interesting. Sherry says the CDC called her on her cell phone today and asked about vaccines, and she told her basically where she could go. I hope you had a nice birthday, sister. So anyway, kind of funny. Let's move along. Okay, so we have also White House photos of the week, which are really nice. As I said, for those of you who are just joining us, the president's going to address the nation tonight at 9 p.m. So yeah, we have to get this POTUS report wrapped up really quick. Here is our the White House photos of the week for February 29th to March 8th. Let's take a quick look. This is the president during the I miss being in that room. I can't wait to get back there. Delivers remarks during a coronavirus task force update at the James Brady press briefing room. So that's here he is at CPAC again. And you know that there was somebody at CPAC who supposedly and apparently had the coronavirus. We don't know who the person is yet, but that's why you have these other legislators. I think it was a couple of them. Cruz is one of them, I think, who is in self-quarantine right now. And there has been questions about whether the president should have a test and all of this. And, quite frankly, there's just so many people there. I don't know that the president's going to do that, but here he is talking at CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference. And then here he is meeting with the Colombian president, Marquez, and at the White House. And here they are again at the colonnade, walking along the colonnade. And here's the president with the Vice President Mike Pence, joined by other members of the coronavirus task force, and met with representatives from pharmaceutical companies. So that's very interesting. We'll see in the printout what exactly they accomplished. So here it is, more pharmaceutical company execs. I'm sure they discussed, we'll get to it when we get to the press statements on that, but these are just the photos. Vice President was there as well. And then here is the Vice President in the video teleconference with governors and members of the White House coronavirus task force in the Situation Room. Sounds serious, huh? Does it sound serious? My goodness. This little germ, and we have to go into like full military mode. Holy cow. Okay. Here we have Dr. Deborah Burke speaks to reports during she's the coordinator of the White House coronavirus response, and she's also making statements there as well. You have here President joined by North Carolina representatives disembarking from Air Force One. Really great photos. The airplane is so huge. It's such a beast, isn't it? Here's the president again as he's exiting Joint Base Air Force. And here's the president at the National Association of Counties legislative conference at the Washington Hilton in DC. Well, that's a very big room they have there, isn't it? And more coronavirus. They're doing it basically almost daily at this point. President Trump tours the viral pathogenesis laboratory at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. So it's very interesting. He's getting a tour there, and just models of viruses and models of pathogenesis, pathogens in the models of viruses. There you go, at the NIH. President's looking very clearly, very, very intently there. Very interested in what they're having to say. Here's the president, and of course the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, and Dr. Fauci of the National Institute of Health rather. They had just returned from a coronavirus roundtable briefing at the NIH, and here's more photos of that. Here is the 95-year-old World War II Iwo Jima veteran John Sheridan and his daughter Diane Fairbaugh, Tuesday, the diplomatic room of the White House. What an honor that was, I'm sure. And of course, here's another World War II Iwo Jima veteran, Ira Rigger, and his wife, Young Rigger, in the diplomatic room of the White House as well. More CEOs. Oh, here, this is when the president met with the airline CEOs during the possible impact of coronavirus on the travel industry. And as everybody knows, I was reporting the other day that the stock market tanked, big time, but it looks like it recovered some. So it's, but I think the impact is not yet been felt on Wall Street just yet. So I think we're going to have more of an impact on that. We're going to watch and see what happens. Here you have President Trump with the Boy Scouts. Report to the nation. Why do you have girls in there? They have Girl Scouts. Okay, whatever. That's not politically correct, apparently. Okay, so Boy Scouts reception in the Nation Room. There we go. Kim Kardashian there, uh, bumping elbows because you can't shake hands now with the vice president. She was there, of course, regarding the new policies that the president's putting into place regarding criminal justice reform. And here we have, well, that has to be the Eisenhower building. Yes, it is. Eisenhower Executive Building, because I'm used to standing right there in the middle outside. And here you have the vice president meeting with Lou Dobbs from Fox Business at the balcony of the vice president's ceremonial office there. Very nice. And I'm going to just go through this very quickly. Folks, you can go through the rest of the pictures at your leisure, okay, at the blog, because the president's going to address the nation in 45 minutes, and I want to be done by then. So here we have First Lady Melania Trump delivering remarks at the International Women of Courage Award ceremony Wednesday. How lovely, our wonderful First Lady. We are so proud of her. And she's there with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as well. We keep going here, more photos from that, and here's Melania there as well. Just come take a look, everybody, because there's a lot of photos here, and there's a lot more information I need to go through. This is the president on the South Lawn before boarding Air Force One. Before Marine One, to begin his trip to Pennsylvania, which would be on Air Force One. So. Unless I wonder if he took the Marine One all the way there. Perhaps he did. No, he didn't, because here he is disembarking from Air Force One in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton International Airport. So here's the town hall. We talked about that last week. It was very, very interesting. Lots of interesting things came out of this town hall. These are just photos of that. Please come to the blog and take a look at the photos, because we really, here's the president touring the Tennessee tornado area. This was en route to Cookeville, and of course I have family relatives there, and Cookeville always gets hit. I mean, if there's a tornado, Cookeville's going to be in it. So, unfortunately, but a lot of people know this. A lot of people do have storm basements, storm shelters. Let's hope they were in it and got in there in time. But unfortunately, we know some didn't. So, our prayers go out to all the people in Tennessee, especially to those families who lost loved ones in that situation. Okay, so let me just check in between each date that I do. I check in to see how everybody's how the chat's going. How's everybody tonight? Good. Stock market tanking as part of the currency reset plan. That's what we're hearing, Jay. That's what I'm hearing. It's not necessarily. It's certainly not something that the administration is. Why do you say that, Jay? I'm wondering why you would say that I've become deadly at my reporting. I don't think so, but hey. Yes, I had seen reports that our military is deployed in Europe as well. Yes, I have. So, yeah, there's operations going on. There's clearly major operations going on. There's no question about that. Wow, that volume's up really loud. Whatever, you guys can adjust your volume however you want. Let's move along. So, March 9th. Let's move along to March 9th, because I want to finish this midweek report as soon as we can. So here we have the 1600 Daily. The President Trump takes action on healthcare. Earlier that day, President Trump took another groundbreaking action to put American patients back in charge of their healthcare. This new rule will require all healthcare systems to provide Americans secure access and control to their own health records. How would you like that? That's nice. Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham released a statement. Patients will be empowered to share their record with family members and care providers and more easily choose the doctors and treatment that is right for them. No longer will Americans spend hundreds of dollars on redundant medical tests or countless hours collecting copies of their medical records, which are often still transferred using a fax machine or CD-ROM. Americans will finally be able to control their health record. Well, that's interesting. I can't wait to hear about the details of how we're going to do that. The Obama-Biden administration spent $36 billion of stimulus dollars to achieve widespread use of electronic health records. Yet Americans are still largely unable to access their full health record more than a decade later. President excuse me, President Trump is correcting. You have to excuse me for just a minute, folks. Okay. Sorry about that. When you talk so fast, the air moves in and out of your lungs so quickly, you start coughing a little. Here we go. Okay, so President Trump is correcting this problem and building an American healthcare system where patients are in charge. The full statement is here. You can go to the blog and take a look at it. As of day is this was the 9th. The update was about obviously this outbreak remains a top priority for the president and his administration. The he has the coronavirus task force, and they are meeting quite often. Not really going to give you an update now because there's more updates because this is only on the 9th, but it's a whole of government approach, which is the way they're, you know, um, framing this. Okay, bringing the full resources of the federal government. It's really a whole of America approach. The president signed an $8.3 billion funding bill to combat coronavirus, support local responders, and defend the health and safety of the American people. I'd really like to see the details of that, wouldn't you? I'd like a little bit more transparency, please. So here we go. The video of the day is the First Lady honors women of courage. Let's just listen to this for just a moment, because we really don't honor the First Lady often enough. We should. Hold on one second. I got to make sure that the sound is on for this, which it wasn't. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we get that done.
In my 4th year attending this ceremony, I continue to be inspired by the personal stories that accompany each of these extraordinary women. Throughout history, women have made lasting impacts on society, and these women represent the strength of the female spirit. Each of them have demonstrated acts of courage and leadership, often at risk to their own personal safety. Through their work, they empower women everywhere, and I'm grateful for their work and dedication to positive change. Under this administration, we have seen the unemployment rate for women reach the lowest level in almost 70 years. And last year, women filled over 70% of all the new jobs added. This is a big step forward for women and their vital contributions to the workplace.
That's very lovely. That's very lovely. So, First Lady, that's our FLOTUS, folks. That's our FLOTUS. So, let's move back to what this was about. Get a little bit more information. I'll go back to screen sharing this real quick. And here we have they were honoring the winners of the 2020 International Women of Courage Awards. The State Department recognizes women around the globe who advocate for peace, human rights, and women's empowerment. The recipients often pursue these causes despite great personal risk, as she just said. So there were 12 honorees this year. And so you can come to the blog, take more look at another look at that. And here's the president signing the coronavirus preparedness and response supplemental appropriations. Interesting. Just like I said, I'd like to see the details of that. Here it is, talking again about the press secretaries, talking again about the issue of putting Americans back in control of their own health records. So under the new rule, patients will be empowered to share their record with family members and care providers and more easily choose the doctor and treatment that is right for them. No longer will Americans spend hundreds of dollars on redundant medical tests. Oh, I read that before. So that's what you have, right? Here we have giving doctors and patients easy access to medical history, allergies, and other vital information can improve care and even prevent deadly medical errors. Okay, so there's going to be a seamless, secure transfer of electronic health records, which will prioritize patients over paperwork, freeing doctors to spend more time with patients and less time on redundant charts, things like that. So here we go. We also have a press call regarding this with the president. You can go and take a look at all of this. This is, again, I'm scrolling, but these are very long transcripts. So go to the blog at the goldfishreport.blogspot.com, and you can take a look at the entire transcript if you like, but it's all here. Here, the West Wing reads, again, we're talking about the healthcare records and how much that's going to contribute to lessening the burden on doctors and improving healthcare. So that's the overall goal there. President Trump, the coronavirus, as we reported, he's on top of that, and he's going to do another report on this at 9 p.m. tonight. I mean, he'll be doing a live news address the nation tonight at 9 p.m. So we're going to try to hurry off of this to get this done. What else do we have? Yeah, the Nashville Tennessean, has this 25 people died from these terrible tornadoes in Tennessee. Of course, the president did declare and issue a disaster declaration for the state of Tennessee. So that's what he did with that. And of course, here they're talking about this what do you call it? This town hall meeting with President Trump last week with Martha McClellan and Brett Baer. They said it averaged 4.2 million viewers from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Interesting. The record-setting town hall dominated cable news, topping MSNBC's 1.4 million viewers and CNN's 1 million viewers. 1 million. I think they're stretching it too. I don't think anybody's watching CNN anymore. It's just you can't watch it. It's like the hate news network. Okay, I'll keep going. So here we have the latest episode of Political Theater with the Fets. Perfect choreography. Everything is going as according to plan, and I think that we're seeing a lot of cover for ops. As you know, there's ops going on this week and even right now. Take a look. We report on everything from Tulsi Gabbard to Biden's cognitive slippage, Bernie Sanders, and POTUS news. Jim also talks about his book on the JFK assassination, and we should all be really requesting the redacted files, the remaining redacted files of the JFK files that the president has. So, because I think what they're implying here is that when those files are redacted, folks, we are going to get a bigger picture as to who was behind the assassination and how international it was. Okay, so here we have more information about this. Was just the announcement of the First Lady attending this conference. Okay, good. So let me just check in with the chat with everybody. Hi, everybody. How are you? Yeah, she is beautiful, isn't she? She's just wonderful. Yeah, we definitely want to see those healing beds. I definitely agree with you on that. Mark, Crystal, how is everybody? How is Anthony and Pam, Cheryl, Crystal, Mark? Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, it's time to get excited. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Let's move ahead. Okay, the president. Remarks by the President Trump at the presentation of their Presidential Medal of Freedom to General Jack Kane. I'm not going to scroll on this, but folks, you can come to the blog and take a look at it. Oh my God, I feel like yawning. I'm so tired. It's been a long day. Today, President Trump, this was yesterday, by the way. President Trump sent his principles for drug pricing reform to Capitol Hill. The president's principles and vision are policies that already have bipartisan support and would bring lasting relief from incredibly high drug prices for America's seniors. President Trump's bold leadership lowered drug prices last year for the first time in almost 50 years and has increased access to more affordable drugs for millions of Americans. As the president called for in his State of the Union address, the time is now for Congress to build on that on that progress, which was a promise too, and set aside partisan pandering and work with his White House to deliver the most significant drug pricing reform in more than a decade. The White House is calling on Republicans and Democrats in Congress to pass legislation that would cap Medicare Part D beneficiary annual out-of-pocket pharmacy expenses, provide an option to cap Medicare Part D beneficiary monthly out-of-pocket pharmacy expenses, offer protection for seniors against the out-of-pocket cost cliff created by Obamacare, give insurance companies an incentive to negotiate better prices for costly drugs, and limit drug makers' price increases. As the country confronts a public health challenge, the administration recognizes the importance of pharmaceutical innovation. The Trump administration's goals, and as it has always been, is to help America's seniors and patients afford the drugs they need, not destroy this vital industry. Okay, we also have here we have, this was from yesterday, the 1600 Daily. President Trump secures no-cost virus testing for Americans. Hey, did you hear that Bernie was going to, if he's elected, he did you guys hear that Bernie said he would give Oh, okay, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you clarifying that. Did you hear all that Bernie said that he's going to give, if he's elected, he's going to give everybody the flu shot for free at no cost at all, or the coronavirus? I mean, can you imagine? Free. I don't think he could give it away. He wouldn't be able to give it to me, that's for sure. Okay, let's go see what this is about. Because the president's going to address the nation at 9 p.m. So the Trump administration is leading an all-of-America approach, as we said before, as Vice President Mike Pence calls it, to protect Americans during the global coronavirus outbreak. Last week at this table, the president met with pharmaceutical leaders. We met with nursing home leaders, leaders of commercial labs, and airline industries, the vice president said. We're bringing all of the businesses of the country to bear to protect the health of the American people. Earlier today, President Trump, this was yesterday, folks, and the vice president met with executives from America's largest health insurance companies, where they announced a major deal. Oh, so this is our president, you know, the master deal maker, the art of the deal. Of course, he's going to make deals. I'm so curious. I want more transparency. I want to see what's in these deals. I have to wait to get until that's released. Okay, so I'm pleased to report. Yeah, and here, the vice president also says we're defending all patients against surprise billing. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go into an emergency room. You want to have a list of, what it's going to cost per hour. You want to know what the tests are going to cost, and you can make a decision as to what tests you want and what it'll cost, and what you can afford to pay, or whether your insurance can pay for it. No more of this. You're not privy. You don't get to have an option in terms of what your choices are for testing, and whether you can afford it or not. I really applaud the president for doing this, because we should know in advance, beforehand, what medical care is going to cost if we're coherent, if we're God forbid, in an emergency and go into the emergency room, you just have to kind of have faith there. But he says here, I'm pleased to report, as you requested, Mr. President, that all the insurance companies here, either today or before today, have agreed to waive all copays on coronavirus testing and extend coverage for coronavirus treatment in all of their benefit plans. That's good. So did you hear that? They all agreed to waive copays, folks, for coronavirus testing. That's great. And extend their coverage for treatments. So that's interesting. This is really, really extreme, actually. Okay, let's keep going. Medicare and Medicaid announced recently that beneficiaries will have coronavirus testing and treatment covered. Now, private insurers have made that commitment as well. So that's good. Insurers also agreed to cover telemedicine services, which will allow all patients, particularly among the vulnerable senior population, to be treated without feeling the need to go to a hospital or doctor's office. Interesting. Okay, so here's the details. Here's some details we wanted. We wanted transparency. Very good. Hold on a second. So dry. Okay. Dry heat in the house. So After sitting down with insurance leaders at the White House, the president traveled to Capitol Hill this afternoon. This was yesterday, where he and Vice President Pence met with lawmakers. We just had a meeting on stimulus, and you'll be hearing about it soon, but it was great, said the president. And this is great news, though. It really truly is, folks. He's really getting some progress, making deals with these insurers and in the industry, the healthcare industry. Everybody has to be vigilant and has to be careful, but be calm, the president said, thanks to early preventative measures by the administration, as well as the strong fundamentals in our economy and job market. America is in great shape to weather any storm. Don't you love how he said that? You know what he's talking about, don't you? Here's the photo of the day the president and vice president meet with the coronavirus briefing with health insurers in a coronavirus briefing. There you go. This is President Trump, remarks by the president after meeting with Republican senators. You want to go here. He's trying to get, the payroll tax holiday. That's what they're talking about here. That's another interesting. These all seem like interesting changes, don't they, folks? Sounds a little like, whoa, where did this coronavirus come from? It's kind of like, Santa Claus. It's about 600 cases. It's about 26 deaths within our country, and had we not acted quickly, that number would have been substantially more. They are There's great unity within the Republican Party. Uh, so a payroll tax holiday it looks like is coming. Interesting, folks. Very interesting. A payroll tax holiday. Everybody should be really happy about that. Really happy. Yeah, Matt Getz, Doug Collins, these are people who have gone into quarantine. They have not been tested as far as I know. So we'll see what happens. But the president hasn't either. He did said here that he spoke to the White House doctor. He said there's no reason to do it. There's no symptoms, no anything. So no reason to do that. So the president has been briefed on every contingency that you can imagine. 26 deaths, and the flu right now we're at 8,000 deaths. And hundreds of thousands of cases, but we have 8,000 deaths. So you have 8,000 versus 26. Something's not right. This is just not right. Oh, whatever. All right, guys, come to the site here and take a look, because these numbers are crazy. I mean, 8,000 deaths, you think they would have done this for the flu, the coronavirus. It just doesn't seem right. We want to protect our shipping industry, our cruise industry, cruise ships. We want to protect our airline industry. Very important. Yeah, public transportation is going to be, the thing, right? A lot of people use that, especially when you're in metropolitan areas, right? So here we go. And then, of course, you have more coronavirus update briefings. The ones from yesterday might not be quite as significant because every day you're getting new updates. So you might want to check out on the latest one, which is going to be at 9 p.m. tonight. So let me move ahead and finish this up with the last page. I'm sorry for the scrolling. The West Wing. Trump's style of leadership is a plus in this kind of crisis. Truly it is. He is neither afraid to make decisions nor overly concerned about being criticized for the decisions he is making. That is vital. And, it's kind of funny because that's a very good trait to have for anybody, really. He proposed emergency measures, including temporary, maybe it'll become permanent. We'll see. A temporary payroll tax cut. Well, actually, we shouldn't be taxed on our income. We shouldn't be. And expanded sick leave to prevent an economic slowdown and to blunt the spread of the coronavirus. So the president said he's helping small businesses as well as hourly wage earners who are forced to miss work so they don't get penalized for something that's not their fault. Absolutely. President Trump's long promised border wall is working. So that's good too, because you want to keep down, a spread of infection through the border, anybody coming in through the border as well. And so he's doing a good job. His energy dominance agenda will help America get through the coronavirus fallout. Using domestic oil, gas, and coal to produce our own energy and electricity, we can rebuild every sector of the economy by bringing products and jobs back from overseas. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We need to rely on our own country. It's big enough. We can produce and provide these things for ourselves, surely. Here's another coronavirus uh, press conference, a briefing. This was from yesterday, though, folks. So definitely, take a look at it because there might be some other information in here that you didn't hear yet. But um, they are talking. So there's a question about a recession. Some are saying it's better than a 50-50 chance that that will happen. And Secretary Mnuchin says, well, just let me first say today, as an unprecedented move in the oil market, was an unprecedented move. So, we saw an overnight reaction of over down 20%. And that's obviously what had a major component today on the stock market. So that was a big deal. This was yesterday. But let me just make a couple of comments more broadly. First of all, we couldn't be more pleased that coming into this situation with the coronavirus, the U.S. has the most resilient economy in the world. You saw a very large economic jobs number last month, and we couldn't be more pleased with that. Pleased that the president's economic programs of tax cuts, regulatory relief, and trade have put the economy in a very good position. He also comments, Secretary Mnuchin also comments that he's in daily conversations with Chair Powell. We are committed, and we just had a meeting with the president and the economic team. The president is committed that whatever support we need to provide to the U.S. economy, we will use all of our tools, working very closely with the regulators. The president has the bank CEOs coming in this week. So that was today. We'll be reporting on that. We'll be talking to them about what they can do to help small businesses and companies that are impacted. So he's emphasizing, this is Secretary Mnuchin is emphasizing the primary focus is there are parts of the economy that are going to be impacted, especially workers that need to be at home. Hardworking people who are at home under quarantine or taking care of their family. Will be working on a program to address that. We will also be working with small businesses who need liquidity through SBA programs. We're looking at alternatives at the IRS. We have large tax payments coming up of providing certain relief to companies and individuals for liquidity. So the president is 100% committed that we will provide whatever tools we need, that the economy will be in very good shape a year from now, that this is not like the financial crisis, where we don't know the end. We don't know the end in sight. Okay, this is about providing proper tools and liquidity to get through the next few months. You want to know more details? Please come to the blog and take a look at the entire transcript. So you might want to know about that because that was a comment regarding the stock market behavior yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling. Look how long this is. That's why I'm like, I can't. So, folks, I'm almost going to wrap it up soon. I have one more day. I'm going to report on what's already been posted for today, in terms of um, our POTUS reports, our press releases, and then we'll wrap it up. But the president's very busy. I'll be back at the end of the week to report for the rest of the week. Friday night, as usual, I'll be back to do the remainder of the POTUS report for week 164. We're getting there, folks. Okay, so here the president announces judicial nominee and United States Marshal nominee. Here we have, I think it's Hala Yarbo or Jarbo of Michigan to serve as the judge on the United States District Court for the Western District of Michigan. You can go here and read about their background. Here you have Gregory Tabor of Arkansas to serve as United States Marshal for the Western District of Arkansas. So here we go. You can go here to the blog and take a look at that. Here is a statement from the press secretary. Today's order from the Supreme Court is a major victory for the Trump administration. By allowing the migrant protection protocols to remain in effect, the court has prevented dangerous chaos at the southern border, avoided significant escalation in public health threats, and mitigated damage to foreign relations. MPP, which faithfully implements the section there of the Immigration and Nationality Act, has been crucial to our success working with Mexico to control rampant illegal migration, smuggling, and cartel-driven human trafficking, all of which present wide-ranging risks to both our countries and to the migrants themselves. Open borders do not serve the American public. We will always strongly enforce the laws at our borders and airports. Today's 1600. This is today's news now, folks. We are on today's latest news from the White House. The president will address the nation tonight at 9 p.m., so we are finishing this up so everyone can go watch that. Earlier today, the president met with financial leaders at the White House discussing how best to meet the needs of customers affected by the coronavirus. Ensuring financial relief for both consumers and small businesses is a core piece of the president's agenda. The president also signed a memorandum today directing his cabinet to make general use face masks available to healthcare workers. Under President Trump's leadership, the Secretary of Health and Human Services has also already taken bold steps to incentivize the development of vaccines, therapeutics, and other products that are needed to fight the coronavirus outbreak and address supply concerns. You can go here and stay prepared, follow CDC for resources and updates on the coronavirus. These are hyperlinks, folks. You can go to the blog and you can access this information here. The Trump administration addresses community spread of coronavirus. So that will be tonight in about 15 to 20 minutes. President Trump awards American hero General Jack Kane the Medal of Freedom. So you can go here and look at this. He's a retired four-star general. So that's quite an honor. So we are, proud of him and are thankful for his service. It is my great privilege to present. This is from the president. Our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to a courageous warrior and fearless patriot, President said from the East Room. So you can go here and take a look at this as well. Yeah, and so General Kane's storied military career began in Vietnam, and you can go here. Oh, and he joined the legendary 101st Airborne Division of the U.S. Army, also called the Screaming Eagles. He showed unflinching courage and exceptional valor early on, earning him a Silver Star. Well, I've had family in that division, so that's very impressive. That's very nice to know. I didn't, that's nice to know that. Screaming Eagles, folks. 101st Airborne. Okay, the next stage, and General Kane's service was helping to rebuild American military might. Thanks to his state-of-the-art training program, our country was ready when duty called. You can go here and read a little bit more about that, but for the sake of time, folks, and we want to be able to get to the president's address tonight, the photo of the day is the president signing the presidential memorandum on making general use face masks available to our healthcare workers. Here, you're going to want to read this. This is the printout, the transcript of the meeting the president met with the bankers on the COVID-19. So you're going to want to definitely take a look at this. Go to the blog and take a look. Mr. Moynihan is with them. These are CEOs of the large banks where the work done on the capital, liquidity, and all the things as we look forward to uncertainty due to the virus and oil price changes, we're very strongly capitalized. We're in a great position in terms of liquidity, capital, and strength, but more importantly, we're doing what we do best, which is helping our teammates, importantly, but also our clients and our small businesses, our small business customers and our medium-sized business customers to continue to have access to credit. So there's lots of things here that they're talking about. I think you should go take a look at this transcript when you have time. It's certainly after the president's, let me just see what else there was. Yeah. So here we also have a background press call by senior administration officials on the visit of Prime Minister Leo Varadkar of Ireland. Okay, and you can go here and talk about this as well. They were talking about celebrating St. Patrick's Day. He's going to be here visiting. This is an opportunity to reinforce the relationship, shared culture, history, and economic ties, and their commitment to peace and security. So you know those are going to be things on their agenda. But again, in the sake of time, we're going to I'm going to skip over the details of this so you can come to the blog and read it, just so I can finish this report. Here we have the memorandum for Secretary of Health and Human Services, the Secretary of Labor, for making general use respirators available. So this is what the president signed today, and this is regarding making these face masks available for the healthcare providers. I also wanted to mention, well, let me just finish this. Well, let me mention it because we're on the topic of it. The schools right now are also sending messages to parents regarding what kind of like teleclassroom, telecommuting type classroom, uh, what kind of computer situations they have at home so that they can do like Google Classrooms, which is what they have. And making sure that, because look, folks, I think we're very clear that we're going to be having some, there's going to be like a shutdown. We think there's a lot going on, but I think there's going to be some shutdowns going on in terms of a lot of industry, including schools. And I did post this. I did post, be prepared for quarantine, okay, for a certain period of time. Please go and prepare and get yourself some extra food and things if you don't want to go out during this time. Everybody stays home for a period of time. You know the virus will die. Then we can all just go about our regular business again. So this is that document here. Here we have West Wing reads an opportunity for lawmakers to work across the aisle and get something done. This has to do with you know, the setting first major drug pricing reform in decades and meeting those goals. Lowering prescription drug costs is a priority. As you know, the president has always said that, and Congress should capitalize on this opportunity and work with the administration to reject special interests, reject partisan posturing, and provide relief to the American people. Here's Vice President Pence on the coronavirus task force, but you can watch the president in in about 10 minutes now. And I'm going to finish this up. And today was another report, another GoldFish report, Expand Your Thinking. This is for people who really kind of came out and started to attack Austin Steinbart, who has come out and said he is Q. Q is a part of a team, military intelligence, who works with the president. And I think people should just expand their thinking a little bit and not be so quick to judge and criticize him. It is very possible he's who he says he is, and there's evidence to support that. However, the naysayers have no evidence, and we will wait to see, though. So I think that he's certainly putting himself at great risk and in harm's way by doing this. So I, as he said himself, does not think it's antithetical to Q to, you know, to be going out and doing this publicly. But it's something he is told he needs to do. So, but I do think this marks a change in the narrative for MSM, because once he does come public, it's no longer a conspiracy theory label anymore, as you know. Um, once you have the person that comes out in public, you can't still call it a conspiracy theory, and then, you know, like the whole label conspiracy theory is going to be challenged, I think, because once he has come out, you're going to have uh, facts, and I already know that there's media companies that have asked him for interviews, or at least to talk with him. I don't know what he's doing about that, but that's it for tonight, folks. I appreciate you being here. It's 8:51. We did get this done in under an hour for a Friday. No, it's not a Friday night. It's a Wednesday night. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's re-uploaded now, so you'll be able to access it. Go to the GoldFish Report on Facebook, or go to our YouTube channel. I had to re-upload it, so you should be able to access it no problem. It's also on our Twitter page, so please go take a look. Thanks, Lawrence, for letting me know. I appreciate that. Everybody, you have a great night. The president's going to be, yes, it was, Carl. Conspiracy theory was coined by the CIA. Of course it was, to, you know, Boy, how they have PhDs in deception, these people, don't they? Masters at deception. It's amazing. It's just the most unbelievable thing. So, folks, we're going to be leaving now to go see the president live. That's it. But that's not, I mean, that's it. It's like it's a lot. The president's very, very busy and he's accomplishing huge amounts every week. It's like, it's unbelievable. He's making up for like the past 30 years of nothing. Nothing good, I should say. So, anyway, hope everybody is having a great night. Let me just check on the chat. What do you guys not saying you shouldn't post in the chat? Yeah. Okay. It's a joke. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. And please go check out that video tonight, the video called Expand Your Thinking on the GoldFish Report channel, and leave some comments. Uh, you know, respectful. You can respectfully comment because otherwise I'll have to delete it or remove it or something. So that everybody can enjoy the benefit of reading them. So, right. Well, Jay, that's what in Navy intelligence, that's what William Cooper, wrote his book, Behold the Pale Horse. In fact, I don't know. I have that book. I think I have it next to my bed. Actually, my nightstand book is Sun Tzu, Art of War. that is my that is my nightstand book. That's pretty funny. Okay, everybody, you have a great night. We'll be back on Friday night, unless there's some other breaking news to report and to bring to you. Otherwise, enjoy the president's address tonight. It's at 9 p.m. I'm sure you'll see it on most major networks, and I'm also going to be posting the links on Twitter and on our almost 24/7 news page on Facebook. So go there and take a look. So everybody, you have a great night. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to say, okay, thank you so much. So go. I hope you all enjoy. Go to have a chance to go set. It's your probably Fox News will carry it, but we'll also put it on our channels as well. So have a great night, everybody. This concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report.